Hey everyone, welcome to Leafbox Marketing. My name is Tristan. I'm going to do a tutorial today on how to add your listings to Amazon and Seller Central. Just to give you a brief overview of some of the changes that Amazon's made for the past few years, their regulations and their error codes that people get nowadays with creating a product. Amazon is really cracking down and asking for a lot of proof through invoices or any other kind of proof to show that you're a legitimate seller of a certain category and that you're a legitimate business. So I'm going to go a little bit over the new ways how to create your products efficiently and quickly. So in order to start the process, you simply go to the inventory tab up top and you go to add a product. Now if you're a distributor, you may want to look up your UPC or your product that might be already in Amazon's catalog. But if you're a new seller and you own your own brand and you're just starting fresh, you just simply click here, I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. And then you go through the product selection, the product category selection. So when you choose a category, it's a bit touchy with an Amazon system. You want to make sure that your category is very clear. You may pick a category that has a lot of restrictions on it. So be sure to really scrub over this category list and make sure that you're choosing the right one. So for our product today, we're going to be selling a kind of a sweetener spread. So it's going to be under, for us, grocery and gourmet food. And then it's going to be under, I believe, pantry staples, sweet spreads. There's going to be other jams, jellies, and sweet spreads. So pick that one. Okay, if you already know you have a variation of your product, you can skip entering the product ID here and go ahead and go to the variations tab up top and picking your variation theme and entering your product ID through the variation setup here. But if you're selling just one product and only have one variation like we do, you'll need to put in your product ID here at the Vital Info tab. So for our product identifier, it's going to be a UPC, and our product ID, fill that out there. Now the product IDs, you'll need a UPC, and normally when you're really trying to make sure that there's no issues going forward with your products and your seller account, you're really going to want to invest in purchasing GS1 registered UPC codes that you can buy online, and I can provide the link for you to where you buy these UPCs at the bottom here. So our product name, I'm just going to put something pretty generic for now for this example, sugar sweet spread for baking, and then put in the brand name. This part is very touchy. If you put in a brand name that already exists and is registered on Amazon, it'll give you an error code sometimes. Count. Okay, so I have my vital info filled out, and when you create a product in the beginning, Amazon will have these little exclamation points up here to show you which information is absolutely needed to actually create the listing and put it into your manage inventory page. So we'll just follow that for now. So you're going to have a price point here. I'm just going to put $19.99. And then quantity, you can put 0 if you want for now, just to set up your listing. So in this section, fulfillment channel, if you know how to do FBA and that's the business model that you like the best, you can pick that down here. If you want to just put in all the details of your product in the very beginning right away, you can always just hit this advanced view. So it pops up all the details and tabs that you'll want to fill out to create a good listing. So you can put in your seller SKU manually. So if you have a specific SKU for your product or manufacturer SKU to keep your products organized, you can enter that manually here. If you don't, Amazon will automatically generate their own SKU for you. So you can go to images next. You can fill out your images here. I'm going to do that at the later part, but it's pretty straightforward. The standards for Amazon's images is usually at least 1,000 pixels on both sides, and you'll want at least 7 images, some lifestyle images. The main image needs to be all white background. A lot of sellers do add like infographics and have different kind of main images where it's showing lifestyle images. That's typically not allowed by Amazon, and if they do catch you, they'll just ask you to upload a different one with the white background standard. So once you fill out your images, you'll go to description, you fill out key products, and you can have up to 5. You got your product description here. This you don't have to worry about unless you're selling a very restricted kind of product. The keywords you'll want to fill out next. Search terms and subject matter are probably the most important. This platinum keywords section is for platinum merchants only, and unless you know you're a platinum merchant, you're not. So that section, once you fill out those parts, so the vital info, the offer, images, description, and keywords, once you finish that, you can scroll down and hit submit and complete. And then your product will populate in Amazon's Manage Inventory page. It takes about 15 minutes for it to show up on your Manage Inventory. And so when we go over there, we'll see it here, like so. And then from here, you can always hit edit and again go through your product to add the certain details that are needed later on. Or if you need to change anything, you can do that as well. So a few error codes that I want to share with you that you may get that are pretty common. This one here is pretty generic. Error code 5665. If you know you're using the right UPC, brand name and everything, you'll need to submit a case within Amazon to explain your issue, and normally they'll fix it. Sometimes they drag their feet, especially at a time like this. If you receive something more like this, Amazon's either taking all the information that you submitted in your Vital tab info, so the manufacturer name, the brand name, the title, or even the product ID. It'll come up with an error like this that says, hey, your product's already on Amazon's catalog. And so they'll want you to go back here and then go to add a product. And you can either search if your product's in their catalog by putting your product identifier in here, or the ASIN or name of your product or whatever you put in here, and it'll show you if your product is being sold. And I'll show you what that looks like. So if I go to Amazon's consumer website and I hit just one of these here, and say my ASIN say I get that error. It says your product may be in Amazon's catalog already. You'll go back to this page and you'll put in your product ID, but in this case I'm going to put in the ASIN that I already know, as an example, is in Amazon's catalog. But here you would put your product ID and hit enter, and it'll show up like this. And it'll show you what your listing already looks like, or who someone else is selling it. You can kind of see who is selling it. If you're the brand owners and you know that's your listing, and if they're displaying it incorrectly, you can usually go through Amazon's support system and get some help to change that. But if you are competing with other sellers and selling the same product, you'll need to list on the same exact page they are, and try and win the buy box. Now, there's a whole nother theory on how to win buy box that I can go over in another video, but that's pretty much how that works if your product is already in Amazon's catalog, and you know other sellers are selling it. So that's how that works. So that's with that error. This error here is similar to the first one I showed you. It's error 665, but this gives you a little bit more information telling you that your product is already registered under a certain brand, and another seller has already registered that brand with their account. And if your wholesaler owns the brand, you'll need to ask for brand rights to sell your product, and submit it to Amazon. So that's how you create and add your products. If you have any other questions or are getting any other errors, please leave it in the comments, and I'll do my best to help you and guide you through that, getting past those errors. Thanks for watching.